Welcome to the show.
Yeah, anyway.
Crazy.
So,
Ali.
next topic is
What's going on, Ali?
Fidel Castro. Shush. This is Jono's topic.
Okay, so
So, Jono.
Okay. I'm so nervous right now. Fidel Castro passed away at the age of 90 in the last week. Big towering figure in the world politics stage.
What?
So he was the president. Oh, actually, he wasn't the president. He made up his own title. He was like the head of the Communist Party in Cuba for like 60 years.
Wow.
Before in 2006, he handed over power to Raul Castro, his brother. He came into power 60 years before that, as taking over in a coup from a dictator called Batista, who no one liked.
What's his first name?
The Batista bomb.
I can't remember.
Dave?
Is it Dave?
No, I don't think it's Dave. No. If it
I
is,
know
he
where it
recovered
went.
well. If it is, he recovered well, and he's aged fantastically. He's a bit bluer than he used to be, but he's looking
He's
pretty
doing
good.
good.
He just wants revenge for his wife and
Yeah,
kids.
seriously.
Seriously.
Anyway, Fidel Castro, very, very... I can't think of anyone who's more polarizing in world politics. Because there's like the Canadian Prime Minister, like half of Latin America, South America, Mexico, like Europe, all these leaders of these countries, China, Russia, talking about how awesome he was. And then you've got all these other leaders talking about how terrible he was and how awful a person he was. Well, mainly from America.
It's just America, isn't it? It seems like
yeah, it's
everyone
mainly
else is
America.
pretty into
Everyone
it.
else is alright with him.
It's because everyone else hates America.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I grew up sort of in the mindset that communism was just an excuse to abuse poor people and like have power and concentrate in the political people. Like I grew up thinking that the Vietnam War, America was right, and against Cuba, America was right, because I watched Rambo and I watched like Die Hard, and communists are bad.
I didn't
The
think
bad
about
guys in
communism
Die
that
Hard
much.
came from East Germany. You just get a general impression that communists are bad.
Yes.
Like
Connotations.
I didn't think about it. It's just what I got from movies, right?
They're
So
villains.
Fidel Castro was a bad guy in my head.
Yeah.
But then like doing some actual reading up on him, it's really hard to make that judgment, like just straight up, oh, he's a bad guy. I don't know. Have you guys read up anything about him?
Yeah.
Like,
It seems... It seems that the only real bad thing that he's known for is being a dictator, which I guess is that bad to be a dictator. I guess it sort of is, because you're not letting other people come to power.
Well, a lot of things happened under his dictatorship,
Yeah.
under his rule.
I watched some
So-
videos that were like,
should we break down the pros and the cons? Is that how we should
Probably.
approach this? It's hard to unwrap this cookie.
sure,
What,
do you unwrap cookies?
Which cookie are you unwrapping?
If it's in a wrapper, then how else are you supposed to eat it?
Not a wagon wheel.
Unwrap a Kit Kat. I unwrap.
Why is a Kit Kat wrapped? Anyway,
It comes in a wrapper.
Anyway, pros and cons.
Okay, so pros. Cuba has free healthcare, free education for everyone.
Incredible.
Everyone has land, I guess. Everyone has something to eat.
They have 100% literacy rate.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, it's higher than like anywhere. Like they export doctors to other countries.
Yeah, they
Oh,
have
that
right.
don't have
they
enough
have
doctors.
just as many doctors as America or
Yeah.
anywhere else.
For a while there, we had a deal with Venezuela where Venezuela would give them oil and they would send 40,000 doctors a year. And not like, I think just like for the year they had one.
You go.
You go. We get the oil.
What else do
but
they
they like
export?
rented them out. Well, they weren't allowed to export a lot because of the whole time he was there, America had a massive embargo on them.
And then when Russia fell, they
Yeah,
lost a
so
lot of
their
commercial
major
value.
trade partner at the time, for most of the time during the Cold War, was actually the Soviet Union. So what we have here in Cuba is a massive experiment in actual communism. He's probably the most ideologically pure communist that there was in the world, because even China started using closer to capitalists economics, and even America and Russia sort of changed over the years, but Cuba kind of stayed the same. He would even like try and export their version of revolution to other
yeah.
countries. So
And
he actually
They did.
Cuban military forces were involved in wars in Africa, South America, Central America.
Everywhere.
They sent 40,000 troops to Angola to defeat the South African army
Revolution.
that was trying to stop the leftist revolution that was happening in there. And Nelson Mandela, like, really, really
He
respected
loved
him. Like, he's one of the main reasons apartheid fell. They defeated it in Angola, and it kind of forced the South Africans to pull back, and he supported the opposition movements in South Africa. So, like, Nelson Mandela, like, praised him.
Yeah,
like a great
first
man.
place Nelson went out when he got out of jail, like the big jail thing, was he visited Cuba.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? Like, he's been in prison for that long, and
Yeah.
he goes to Cuba, of all places. Plus, I heard it was 30,000, not 40,000.
Okay.
I'm just going to say,
Heard
before the comments come up about the 40,000.
I might have got that mixed up with doctors going to Venezuela.
A lot of doctors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what's a con? We've said a lot of pros. What's a con?
Okay, con. Cuba's economy is a basket case.
Mm.
They haven't had... if you go to Cuba, their cars are like 40 years old, and they just repair them to try and keep them going. For a while there, they were transitioning from tractors back to oxen because they couldn't literally afford anything else.
Sure.
That was around the
Nice.
time when the Soviet Union collapsed, so they basically lost all their trade. They have terribly low productivity. Like, heaps of people don't have work to do because of the way the economy works, and everyone has everything they need. They don't have any incentive to work harder because there's no way to make any more money or have any more stuff.
There's no
And
So they
incentive.
just don't work.
And naturally, in a communist state, like, opposition is harshly repressed.
Yes. So
So-
the worst stuff is the fact that they created, he arrested heaps of political opponents. Basically, any dissident was put in
Shot.
jail. There's like claims that up to like 7,000 people were killed over
I
his
read
regime.
30,000 people died under his firing squad.
I got that from Bill O'Reilly, so that was probably like I just assumed it was a high estimate when
Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly says that 7,000 people are shot or killed.
People
I watched a
political.
montage of it. There's a lot of footage of people getting shot. in
Well, it was
Cuba.
so crazy when the revolution happened as well, because like hundreds of thousands of people who were like engineers and doctors and all these like really highly educated people, he basically just gave them all pay cuts and then raised the income of all the lower workers. So they had just like no incentive to be there anymore. So they just all left. So there's like 2 million Cubans in Florida because they all went to Florida. There was like various periods over time where hundreds of thousands of people would just get on boats and leave. During Jimmy Carter's presidency, he sent all these boats over there and got all these people and brought them back.
Wow.
You know what else Jimmy Carter did?
What?
He tried to kill him.
He actually
A
didn't.
lot.
He was the one that didn't. On that list, he was the one that didn't.
Wait, I might be thinking of the wrong president.
Yeah,
then. I'm
every
thinking
other
of Kennedy.
president other than Jimmy Carter tried to
I'm
kill
thinking
him.
of Kennedy.
You know, how there's a list that it said how many next to each one. He was the only one not on that list.
So, Kennedy, right, loves James Bond. He even brought the writer to the White House, and this is conjecture, but go with me.
We love it.
Apparently, he asked the guy, like, what are the best ways to assassinate people? So,
Really?
okay, so this is apparently there's 600 according to the guy who was defending him,
600
which
what?
is
Assassination
attempts.
Right.
Which the guy had the coolest name, but I've completely forgotten.
By the Americans.
James Bond.
So the Americans tried to kill this guy 600 odd times.
Yeah, but
That's a lot.
there's a documentary about his like head of security. He's the one who says that number, so it could be exaggerated. But okay, you want to hear some interesting ways he got assassinated or attempted?
I'm so much more interested in Castro now.
Okay, so this wasn't an assassination attempt. This was just a really interesting way to try to throw him off. But they tried to make his beard fall out,
Yes.
so,
Yeah.
and that was going to make him seem really weak.
They wanted to
That'll
embarrass
get ya.
him. So they used thallium.
That would be
Thallium to make his
embarrassing.
hair fall out.
Yeah. So the hypodermic needle pen. Apparently that one came straight from the Bond guy. So imagine a pen but a needle coming out in there and just going. Boop, boop. And you know what Fidel loves?
Scuba diving?
Yes, but you know what else Fidel loves?
Yeah. That's actually very important.
Yeah.
We'll cover that one next.
And Cuba's biggest export probably
Sugar.
cigars.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Now, one of the... There's like 3 different ways they tried to assassinate him with the cigars, because he was never not with a cigar. And if you ever see a picture of him, he's usually got a cigar.
Cigar and beard.
If you're listening to this, Ali has a cigar in his hand now.
And a beard.
Oh. Fidel Little.
Coincidence?
Or
You
Ali
came out Castro.
Castro.
You came out Castro.
It's all connected, guys. So one of the biggest ones is they tried to give him an exploding cigar,
Amazing.
so they took the tobacco out and just filled it with gunpowder, which doesn't sound like the best way to actually have a cigar
There's
explode.
no way a Cuban would not know that cigar is not made with tobacco.
Delicious.
Yeah, because you
Something
cut it.
smells off about this.
Yeah. None of them obviously like killed him, unless
You don't
someone
know
just did it. And so the one that more interesting ones, they tried to give him a poisoned wetsuit.
With this fungus in it.
Yeah.
So he would get this mysterious disease.
Yeah, a skin disease that would kill him. That one didn't work.
What did they try and put under the water? They tried to put something underwater. It was like an anemone or something that he would randomly go past and it would explode or something like that.
That's another one.
Oh,
But apparently that one didn't get all the way to the implementation stage because it was so ridiculous.
Where would you put it? How would you know exactly where he's going to go?
Put them everywhere.
CIA,
Look at all these anemones. They weren't here before.
So the one that came closest to success, which sounds funny, is the poisoned milkshake.
Really?
So he was going to get a chocolate milkshake. And, Fidel, cigar, chocolate milkshake.
Weird.
And the only way they figured it out was one of his plans or something was on the fridge, and someone saw it somehow. So that one, actually proper almost killed him.
The plan for assassinating was on the fridge.
Yeah. The fact didn't sound right.
Good plan.
That doesn't sound like a
Hang on.
fact.
I'm just going to poison the milk. Put this here.
Yeah. No, but he...
Where's my plan?
Somehow it got sawn. Some plan got seen,
Right.
and that was the only way. They didn't figure it out. They just got really lucky.
Right. There was a few where they put explosives onto podiums. There's one. He was in South America somewhere to give a speech. He gave a lot of speeches everywhere because he was the head of a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, he was a very good orator, and they'd put 100 pounds of explosive under the podium. But his security team saw it.
They are on point.
Yeah, they must have been the best security team in the world.
Yeah, there's actually a documentary about it. That's pretty awesome.
It's awesome.
I didn't actually watch it. I'm sure it's great. Now, that was probably really loud. Anyway, what else about Fidel?
Okay, another con, and this one I think is the most creepy one. They started a thing where you could join as a normal citizen and spy on your neighbors and family to see if any of them are saying anything against his regime. It's very 1984 George Orwell, the thought police kind of thing. So you could report someone for not being
Communist.
loyal, I guess.
Patriotic.
Yeah, and it's hard to because we imagine someone because he's extreme left economically.
Yes, he is.
But to not allow people free speech, to not allow people opposition. Should we fix that
just
camera?
we've got a strobe light happening. It's the light, not again.
Is it?
Yeah.
Can it fix? Can it be fixed? Anyway, imagine that, because you wouldn't know if if you say anything, someone might report you.
And you will get shot.
Well, yeah, you get arrested and shot, I guess. It's
They still have the death penalty, and the firing squads is a big con about his regime.
Huge.
But I guess the big thing for him, and it's a quote that I read, it was about how he valued the freedom of the whole, community as a whole over individual freedom. So he didn't care if an individual got shot or wasn't allowed to speak or something, but he cared that everyone would have healthcare or everyone would have that. He had a massive distrust for big corporations and America in general. America, there was the empire, and they're resisting the empire. So when he first came to power, he basically took over lots of American businesses that were doing business in Cuba, nationalized them, which is very against international law. You can't just take a company and take its stuff, but he did that. So I guess that's why America hates him so much.
And the missile crisis.
Oh yeah, and that thing.
We haven't talked about.
Yeah, the missile crisis. Do you want to talk about that one?
Sure. Have you seen X-Men First Class?
Oh.
Goodbye.
So Cuba is good mates with the Soviet Union, and they wanted to get some nukes nice and close to America. So Castro said, "Come on, plant them in Cuba."
This was
No
just
worries.
after Bay of Pigs as well, which you should mention, right?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, Bay of Pigs was Kennedy's probably better assassination attempt, which was to send
One of the
2,000
more better ones.
2,000 Cuban exiles as an army. They like bombed a beach in Cuba and then like landed 2,000 exiles, but like 3 days later they'd been defeated.
It was a huge failure.
Yeah,
right?
Fidel was actually a very good military leader. He was pretty talented at it.
Just a good leader
Yeah.
in general.
He always had his uniform on.
Yeah.
So if that counts for anything.
Good start.
But then anyway, then he invited the Soviets to bring missiles to
Yeah.
Cuba.
Which is pretty smart when you think about it. If anything was going to stop America attacking you, it would be having nuclear missiles on your country, right?
I feel like that was, if anything, was
That's
going to
invitation
guarantee
for a
guarantee
flag.
America to attack you. That would be it. Because there's no way Russia would have cared if America attacked you.
Yeah. They have nothing to
wouldn't.
lose from
Yeah.
that.
I didn't mean that. I mean, couldn't they just deploy them to America?
Yeah, but first they have to get the missiles there, and America heard, and they're like, no.
They didn't hear. America saw it.
Yeah.
So they like surveillance flights and stuff. They spotted the missiles and they were
Classic
like, "What the
America.
heck are these missiles doing here?" So it was the closest
That's a
to
funny
it was the
looking
closest the
object.
world's ever come to nuclear holocaust.
Yeah.
Was that 12 days or something of the Cuban Missile Crisis, and then the Russians were like, "Yeah, we don't want to start that," and took them back.
Oh, so the missiles didn't actually get there.
No, they did get there, and then they saw them there,
Right.
and they were like, "Yeah, you can't have them there."
Yeah. And then Magneto and Charles Xavier saved us.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense because in that one, the boat's still coming to Cuba. Like they already got the anyway, whatever.
It's just a movie.
It's not. It's not important. It's not important right now. Anyway,
So that's another reason that America hates them, because they
Yeah.
kind of, and they're there and they're so close to America,
yeah,
but they're so independent and so
yeah,
strong.
and they're so like stuff you.
yeah.
And America really loves capitalism. Like
Yeah.
America's ideology is capitalism, and they really hate it in
and they
Cuba.
just can't get to Cuba.
Yeah.
That would get to you.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So it's good on them for that, but bad job for being communists and killing lots of people.
Yeah, and like having a crap economy that doesn't work.
Did it, like, education-wise for the world, it seems like it was quite beneficial in the fact that it just seems like communism isn't going to work. Because I never thought about the fact that it would just cut out incentive for anyone to accomplish things.
So I was reading the basic premise of communism relies on you having technology that's advanced enough to way overproduce what you need. So if technology is good enough that you don't have to work to produce all the food, all the stuff that you need to produce, then people don't need to work. So
The dream.
you need to have a massive excess in terms of like, so people don't have to be
Which they
productive
don't.
if there's technology,
They're way
which
behind.
they don't because of the embargo.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say that communism failed. It could just be that the American embargo succeeded.
And if you watch Star Trek, that's how it works in Star Trek, is because they can teleport things and they can create things. It's pretty much communism because anyone can do whatever they want to do, and everyone can get whatever they want. It's crazy. Star Trek's interesting.
Do they deal with that in the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
On
awesome.
the Enterprise?
So,
Yeah, I only
Star
learnt
Trek's
about
crazy.
this week.
Oh, interesting.
It's more background stuff, but it's really interesting.
So are they communists or are they capitalists? It's an interesting concept because we have technology now that we never had before, and we can make heaps more food than we need. We don't need to be farming all that stuff, but it doesn't really seem like it benefits everyone as
Yeah.
much as it could.
It seems like the more advanced you get, the more it comes down to what people just want to do.
Yeah. And Castro was that was his thing. It was like all this capitalism just concentrates power in the rich elite. So he said even democracy just concentrates power amongst a elite few.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people who voted in the American election probably agree with.
Figuring it out.
They seem to be on the same page at the moment. But yeah, communism doesn't really work yet. I don't know.
But it's interesting that they've got 100% literacy and
Yeah.
free healthcare for everybody. And free...
Lower infant
Doesn't-
mortality than
It doesn't really help
America
though
or
if people
other
are
places.
illiterate and don't have a job to go to. So they work in like state-owned factories or state-owned farms and stuff like that. Like they, I don't know. It's interesting. Raul Castro is a lot more open to like capitalist ideas, which is weird because he started off as the communist, and Fidel was not as communist as him when they first started their younger
now that
days.
He's dead, but the people are like so emphatic that he was their savior, their hero.
Yeah.
They love him.
Yeah, well, all the people who didn't love him are either dead or
gone.
can't say that or
very
have
quiet.
left. It's hard to say
That's
what
true.
the people actually think because then it's hard to say what they're allowed to
That's true.
say.
But a lot of people loved him.
Yeah, 80% of the people are in that organization that monitors other people. 80% of the population is
Wow.
basically an informant.
But as if you were against it, be a double agent. That's what I would do.
Well, yeah, obviously not everyone in there actually would agree with them. What would you do as a double agent?
I don't know.
This guy said something.
I'd report people who were bad.
They also do other stuff, like they organize heaps of community events or something. That's their cover, but like it's pretty sinister. It's like families and stuff. You wouldn't even
Neighborhood
trust your own family.
Wow.
It kind of tears down community from the inside. It's disturbing.
We've got anything else on that one?
Yeah, Fidel.
Fidel.
He probably believed what he was doing was good, but I don't think it was.
Interesting.
Good summary.